And as you take that deep breath, allow the eyes to close. Let the arms rest heavily next to your body, palms down, just noticing how your body feels in this posture, in this seat. Let the breath move easily through the body. Try not to shape it in any way, just noticing how it's feeling. And without trying to move or push anything away, just become aware of what's present. Now make a small little shift and turn your palms up. And then notice any difference. Again, being very conscious about what's present without labeling it good or bad, without trying to move anything away. Just become aware of what's present. As we've been talking about all week, this idea of digestion and our ability to digest what comes in from the world through our senses. What we hear, what we see, what we eat, what we touch. How well are we able to digest all of these things, assimilate them, let go of what isn't serving us, and absorb what is? On your next inhale, take the arms up over your head, palms come together. And as you exhale, hands come to the heart center. Pause here for your own intention. Why are you on your mat? And on your next exhale, release the hands and softly open the eyes. So good morning or good afternoon to everyone. So we're going to start on the mat lying down. This similar practice to Tuesday if you were on Tuesday's class. And so lying down on your back with your knees bent. And when I talk about digestion, the obvious thing that comes to our mind is food, how we digest our food, which is around the sort of central lower area of the torso. So we're going to be focusing on that today, but I want you to keep in your consciousness that digestion happens here for everything: emotions, thinking, thoughts, feeling, food, all of it. So take your hands to your lower belly, and as you inhale, let the abdomen expand so much so that your lower back lifts off the floor. And then as you exhale, draw the belly down so much so that the lower back touches the floor. And moving in and out of your rhythm here, your breath rhythm. Our breath is as individual as our fingerprints, and unlike our fingerprints that never change, our breath can shift and change as we move throughout the day, as we digest and take in the world. And when we work on breath rhythm, pranayama, in a yoga class, we have the ability to reset our natural breath cycle. One more cycle, all the way up. And then exhale all the way down. And then find a comfortable place in the middle. Bring your feet into neutral. Bring your right leg into your chest. Wrap your hands around your shin or your thigh. Gently draw the leg in, and you'll feel your lower back move to the floor. Keep that and slide your left leg down on the floor. And visualize these two opposite actions where the left leg is moving away, wanting to lift the lower back on the left side, and the right leg is moving down, wanting to move the lower back to the floor on the right side. Two opposite actions here. Big inhale. And then as you exhale, just switch your legs. Left knee comes to chest, right leg stretches down. Same idea here. The right leg will extend so far that there'll be a little bit of lightness underneath that side of your spine. And then the knee drawing in will give you some more grounding, some more connection to the earth on the left side. Take a nice deep breath. And then letting everything go, bend your knees, put your feet back on the floor. Now, I forgot to mention this before we started, so if you can grab it and it's close to you, please do. Take a blanket, especially if you have any neck or shoulder tension, and put it under your head. So I have a single folded blanket. My head's lifted about 1 inch to 1/2 inch, not too much. And then take the right knee to the chest again, slide the left leg down. Take a moment here, noticing what's happening in the core body. Probably not a lot of action here, but lift your left foot just off the floor. And notice what happens in the trunk, in the torso. Next level, if you like, is to lift your head up and look at your left foot. You can do all of this with the head on the blanket. You don't have to lift it up. Next level is switching the legs. So you can, again, do this with your head down if you like. You're going to switch your legs and switch your legs on your exhale. And then go ahead and release your feet down, head down, pause. Obviously bringing awareness and heat and action to this torso right off the bat. Left leg comes in, right leg stretches down. Feel free to leave your head down and lift your right leg off the floor. And if you're going to join me, head up. 10 more switches. 3, 4. Try to focus on your exhale rather than your inhale. Your body will inhale automatically. And rest. Feet down, arms down, head down. Pause. And just notice the difference in what you might be noticing from when you were starting. There's an increase in energy. There's an increase of awareness. From here, turn onto your right side, come up to sitting. Now you're more than welcome to sit on the floor or sit on your blanket. What I'm going to suggest you do is to take the blanket and put it underneath your knees and roll it so that your knees are bent. We're going to need the legs together, and this just eliminates any lower back issues. Take your hands, we did this on Tuesday, thumbs in, fingers around to make the fist. Now this is an in and up action. So you're going to take the thumb side of your hand, push it into your lower stomach, and then turn so your fingers are facing the belly. So in lower stomach, up so that your fingers are touching, and then roll forward. It's important that you do this in the lower belly and not anywhere near your stomach. Most of us might have eaten something within the last 2 or 3 hours and or drank something, so pushing on your stomach this way would not feel good. Breathing into your hands, breathing and pushing against tissue helps to break up stagnation. One more inhale, one more exhale. And then as you inhale, release and come back out. Good. Open and close your hands. And then make your way into a standing posture at the top of your mat. You can use blocks here if you like. We're going to do a little sun salutation to, again, bring up the heat. The heat is important. We want to break up stagnation, this whole idea of how well do we digest the world. If we've got stuff we're pulling in and it's not moving through us, it will get stagnant and stuck. So palms forward, eyes forward, stand in mountain pose. Take a breath. Exhale, root down into the legs, and then inhale, rise, palms up. Exhale, fold forward, soft knees on this first round. Let go of your head. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, come down and take your left foot back into a high lunge. And then just notice how we're in that same position we were in when we were lying on our back, knee to chest and other leg extended. So really push through your back leg. As you exhale, step your right foot back to the left and move to downward facing dog pose. Nice, strong, rooted hands. On your next inhale, come forward into plank. Knees up or down here on this first round. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, step your left foot forward so that you're in a lunge on the other side. Back leg's nice and lifted, front thigh resting into your body. And then step forward. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, fold all the way down, let go of your head. And then inhale, stand, palms come up over your head. Right away, go back down. Exhale. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale down. This time, take your right foot back. High lunge on this side. And what we're going to add is a little twist. So left arm comes to the sky. Front knee over front ankle, back leg nice and lifted. Exhale, hand to the floor, the blocks. Step left foot back, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, plank pose, knees up or down. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step your right foot forward. Twisting to the right. Find a moment here while you can settle in, feel and sense what your body's doing, building heat, building tapas. Exhale, hand to floor, step forward. Inhale, come halfway up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, all the way down, release your head. Inhale, come all the way to standing, palms come together. Right away, exhale, move back down. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale down. Left foot steps back. High lunge. Remember, the blocks are handy if you feel like your floor is too far away. Right hand rises, twisting to the right. Feel and sense your torso muscles around your lower belly working. Exhale, hand to floor. This time, back knee down. Inhale, rise up. Finding your kneeling lunge. Exhale, lower down. Pick up your back knee, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale forward into your plank. Shoulders on your back, knees up or down. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. As you inhale, step forward. And then twisting open to the left. Feeling and sensing your body on this side. Belly in. Exhale, lower the hand. Back knee to the floor. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold forward. Pick up your back knee, step forward. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale all the way down. Inhale all the way to standing. Palms come together. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale halfway up. Exhale all the way down. Right foot steps back. Taking that nice high lunge. Left hand to the sky, taking the twist. Lower the hand, back knee on the floor. Rising up. And then as you exhale, release your fingers, pick up your back knee, and straighten your front leg. Extending both legs, both sitting bones back. From here, release your front knee and step back, downward facing dog pose. Inhale, come forward to plank. Shoulders on your back, belly active. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step forward, right foot. Nice high lunge, twisting to the right. Exhale, hand to the floor, back knee down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, release the hands, pick up your back knee, and this time stretch the front leg straight. Inhaling and exhaling here. This time, soften your front knee, step back, downward facing dog. As you inhale, come forward to your first plank, or last plank, sorry. And then knees up or down, we're gonna move to chaturanga to the floor. So bending the elbows along the side, lower the body, point the toes, and then walk your shoulders to the back body to lift up. Cobra, where you're comfortable. Belly down, a little easier. Pelvis down, a little bit bigger. Fingers are open, elbows are squeezing your side body. Exhale down. Push away from the floor, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, walk or hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, come all the way down. Inhale, rise all the way up, palms together and hands to the heart. Pause. Sense and feel. Energy's up. Body feels awake. Mind's alert. All right, finding the center of your mat. We're going to use the width of the mat now. So walk your feet a little wider. Turn your feet on a little bit of an angle. And as you bend your knees, find a place where you can be. Some of us will be really close together, very little bend. Some of us will be wider, deeper bend. Find what works for you. Belly lifts, heart lifts. Think about that energy moving up and down so the tailbone roots down. Okay? We did this one on Tuesday. Fingers to the head, light touch. So it's 2 movements. Exhale, lateral movement first. Elbow toward the thigh. Inhale, come up. Now take your opposite hand, rotation to the opposite knee. Inhale up. Do it again. Exhale, touch. Inhale up. Exhale, rotate. So that's your pattern. And what I want you to do is see if you can make it a tiny little bit bigger each time you do it. So the elbow comes a little closer. Maybe the hand moves a little lower to the ankle or foot. We're staying on one side, dynamically helping the body to open and adapt, digest, if you will, to the movement pattern. One more time. Now stay in the center. Exhale, tailbone tucks under, elbows touch head down. Inhale, expand and open. So think cat and cow. Round the body and then expand and extend the body. Touch and open. One more time. Tailbone tucks under, elbows, head come in, and then open. Inhale, stand, rise. Exhale, let your arms come down. Take a moment. Hopefully you were in a deep enough standing position where you felt a little bit of effort. We're trying to build tapas, this heat, this discipline. So finding your posture this way. Hands come to the forehead or head, and we'll go the other way now. So elbow and up, and rotate to the inner knee and up. Elbow and up and knee. And then start to just ask to make it a little bit bigger. And you might or might not. Working the lateral and the rotational components of the torso. Again, exhaling when you come over or down. Inhaling when you come up. One more time. Exhaling and exhaling. Stay standing. Tailbone, head, and elbows toward the center. Tailbone, head and elbows back. Exhale when you come forward. Inhale when you open. Exhale. Inhale. One more time. Exhale. Inhale. Stand all the way up. Release your arms. Pause for a moment. Now, look at your feet and make them square. So you can push your heels out or you can turn your toes in, but make them so they're facing the long edges of your mat. And then fold forward, holding onto your ankles, finding a comfortable place where you can rest for 3 or 4 breaths. If you feel a little bit lightheaded, fingers on the floor, head up, so that your head isn't below your pelvis. Okay? From here, slide your hands back up your legs, coming all the way back up to standing, arms open this time. We're going to move to warrior 2 stance. I want you to keep your heel in place and rotate the ball of the foot towards the short edge of the mat. And then bend your knee and say, well, I'm kind of far apart. If you're too far apart, walk your back foot in a little bit. Your heels should be lined up with each other, not the ball of the foot. Alrighty, so we're gonna play with the same idea here. So fingers on the head. We're gonna stay to this side. Elbow comes to the knee, and then opposite hand comes to the floor on the inside of your foot. Up, elbow, up, touch. Back leg stays straight. Legs are not moving. Legs do not move. This is all about our ability to move from the upper body, stoking this energy. One more. Okay, stay here. Extend the arms and open and straighten the leg just for a moment. Give yourself a break. We're going to go to another level. So bend the front knee. Bring your hands to your elbow, or hands to your head. And we're going to change it up. 2 hands go to the mat. So 2 hands down, 2 hands back up, reach. We can even stay here. 2 hands down, 2 hands up, 2 hands down, and 2 hands up. The next time our hands go to the floor, stay there. Now, I'm going to move back a little because the plant's in my way. I want you to reach forward onto the mat. Hop your back foot slightly forward. Reach forward more. Now push into your standing leg and lift your back leg up. This is all about grace here. Soften your front knee. Reach for the back foot. Land. Come back up, warrior 2. 2 hands down. Reach. Push and lift. Back leg's lifting as high as you can get it. Soften front knee. Reach back. Don't fall. And then come back up, warrior 2. One more. Down. Reach and lift. Stay here. Now, keep your fingers on the floor or right hand to your chest. Maybe right hand to the sky. Pushing really strongly into both legs, feeling the length of your body. Exhale, hand to floor. Soften front knee. Reach back. Find the floor. Up to warrior 2. Good. Straighten the front leg. Release your arms. Turn your feet to square and make any adjustments that you need here. So I'm going to move a little bit because I know my table's going to be in the way. Toes are forward. Heels are lined up with each other. Pick up your other forefoot and turn it to face the short edge of the mat. And then bend your front knee. See if you've got the appropriate level stance. And then arms open. Hands to the head. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, opposite hand down to the inner foot. Back up. Elbow to knee. Hand to foot. Elbow to knee. It's like I can't make up my mind. I just keep going back and forth. Elbow to knee. And back up one more time. And elbow. And back up. Okay, now hold here. Expand the arms, full warrior two. Again, adjusting if there's anything close that you want to get away from. So we're going to reach down to the floor, and then we're going to come back up, warrior two. Reach down and warrior two. Next time we're going to lift the leg. So reach down, hop the front leg a little bit forward, and then step and reach. Soften front knee, reach back leg to the floor, up to warrior two. Fingers to the floor, reach way out in front of you and lift your back leg. Bend your front knee, gently soften to the floor, try not to fall. Come back up, warrior two. Last time we stay, fingers on the floor, push and lift your back leg, nice and high. Feel free to stay here, you'll be more stable. Or left hand comes to the chest, or left hand up to sky. Half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Breathe. Slowly lower the hand to the floor if you've lifted it. Soft front knee, reach back for that warrior two, and up you come. Nice job. Straighten your front leg. Turn your feet so they're square and level. Hands come to the legs. Fold forward. Again, if you feel like you're breathing real hard and you don't want to feel dizzy, fingers on the floor, keep your head up. If you're feeling okay, head down. Breathe. Make sure you're not locking your legs. Feel the sitting bones rise as your heels descend. Let go of your head. From here, I want you to walk to the edge of front edge of your mat. Pivot your legs around so you're in a big lunge. And then step back to downward facing dog. Taking the breath. Inhale, come forward into your plank. Knees up or knees down for chaturanga to the mat. Point your toes. Walk your shoulders up onto your back. Cobra number two. Elbows squeeze in. Toes, feet push down to keep your kneecaps off the floor. Fingers active. Exhale, lower. Push away. Downward facing dog. As you feel ready, you can bend your knees and bring your feet or knees to the floor and rest in child's pose for a moment. Alrighty, come back to table. Spreading your fingers nice and wide. Remember, if your wrists are sore or maybe they're just a little tired, walk your hands ahead of your shoulders. That's completely fine. Keeping your fingertips really active. Let's take your right leg back behind you. You're going to keep your left foot really solid down. And as you exhale, bring your knee to your chest, round your back by pushing into your arms, and bring your head toward your knee. Inhale, expand and look forward. Exhale, curl in and push. Inhale, expand. Exhale, curl in. This time, expand and stay. Opposite arm comes forward. Find your steadiness amongst the heat, the tapas, the movement, breaking up the stagnation. Exhale, hand to knee to floor. Switching side, other leg goes back. Exhale, knee to nose, round and push your arms. Inhale, expand and reach. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale. Last time, push and round your back a lot. Inhale, stay here. And take your other hand forward. Palm to the sky. Find your steady. Find your sthira. On your exhale, release hands and knees. And then sit back for a moment, turn your hands upside down, pumping your fingers. We're going to move through that again in another layer up. So if it feels too hard, what I'd like you to do is do what we just did. So the knees on the floor for level 1. If we're going to move the right knee in and out, we're going to take the left leg and stretch it back and keep it on the floor. So I'm on the ball of my left foot. So I'm kind of in a one-legged plank, if you will. Now we're going to do the same thing with the right leg. So as you exhale, pull the knee to chest, round the back, push with the arms, and then inhale, reach the leg behind you in a 3-legged plank. Exhale, round. Inhale, expand. Exhale, round. Inhale, expand. 2 more. Exhale, round. Inhale, expand. Are you using your fingers? Exhale, round. Inhale, expand, and rest. Sit back. Hands turn over. Pump your fingers. When I'm saying use your fingers, what I want you to do is try to push your fingertips into the mat. And it will activate the muscles around the wrist and up the forearm much better. Second side. Remember, you're more than welcome to keep the knee on the floor, or you stretch the right leg back. On your exhale, knee to nose, round the back. Inhale, expand. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, expand. Exhale, knee to nose. Expand. And expand one more time. Knee to nose. Expand. This time, downward facing dog. You're welcome to do child's pose again if you like. You don't have to do downward facing dog. Take a breath. And then release, knees to floor. So what I'd like you to do is either grab a bolster if you have one, or I want you to use a blanket. We did this one on Tuesday. And if you're using a blanket, you know, typically a normal folded yoga blanket looks about like this. And I will typically fold it in half long ways. But what I want you to do is take the short end and fold it like a little accordion, one way, opposite way, so that you created a higher stack. Now, if you don't have a blanket, but you have a block or a bolster, you use the same thing with the bolster. I'm going to show you with the bolster, but they're both the same. Once you take the bolster, move it back, and you're going to put your pelvis over the blanket or the bolster so that your pubic bone is on one end and your hip bones are on the other end. Please don't put it on your belly. That will not feel good. And then rest down on your forearms with your legs on the floor. So obviously, if you used a blanket that's really low to the floor, you're not going to have much support and height. Okay, so from here, turn your toes under and push through the balls of your feet to engage your legs. Feel how much different that is versus when they're just relaxed. So we're pushing us, moving us into upward facing dog, which honestly is done many, many times in classes, but honestly, I see it done many, many times very poorly, which is why I'm taking the time to set you up here. So press the legs back, really feel how that engages your back body. Now from here, look about where your elbows are and place your hands. So your hands want to be about under your shoulders. You could even lower down and kind of check. Roll the shoulders onto your back and push through your arms so that your elbows are right by your side. So we could call this supported chaturanga. So much easier, right? Fingers are active. From here, see if you can push into your hands and start to straighten your arms so that your chest is lifted. Once you do that, push through your legs even more to kind of float your body off of the bolster or the blanket. So you're still near it, but you're not using it anymore. This is upward facing dog. Very powerful pose. Take one more breath here. And then as you exhale, let your pelvis touch whatever you got underneath you. Bend your elbows again so you're in that supported chaturanga. Legs are active, arms are active. If you want to get stronger in your arms, this is a great way to do it. And then exhale, release. Come all the way down. Let your head rest. Maybe be on your forearms if that feels better. So it's a great way to practice getting into the depths of a pose really intelligently. All right, let's move the bolster of the blanket away. And from here, find your hands on the floor with your hands further forward, like mine are, turned out on an angle. Now, slide your right knee forward toward your right wrist. And then take your foot and move it to the other side of your mat. So the closer your foot is to your body, the easier. The further away your foot gets, the harder. And then walk your back leg behind you, like you're trying to inchworm yourself backwards, until you have a very healthy stretch in your right hip. Now, if you have that blanket or that bolster nearby, you could slide it underneath your right hip and really be here. Fingertips on the mat. Push and lift your chest up. Feel and sense your belly expanding with each inhale, contracting with each exhale. Now imagine, I want you to imagine moving your right hip backward toward the wall behind you as you move your left hip forward toward the wall in front of you. Notice what that does in your body. Take one more breath. Exhale, palms down. Turn your back toes under, lift your back knee, and float back into downward facing dog. Being mindful about straightening the right leg. So bringing energy up the whole center line of the right leg. Knees down on the mat. So my hands are a little wider than neutral, and it gives my leg a position to go to. So left knee moves toward the left wrist, which is slightly outward. You take my right hand and move my left foot forward, and then walk your legs back behind you until you get that good, healthy stretch in your left hip. Again, a bolster or blanket under your hip is nice. It can give your body a place to be. Come up on your fingers. Lift and open your chest. So belly expands on the inhale, contracts on the exhale. Left hip moves back, right hip moves forward, feeling how that stabilizes you in your body. You might even notice a bigger action. One more breath. And then let your hands come to the mat again. Lift your back knee off the floor and float back, downward facing dog. Focusing again on your left leg stretching. Left heel down, left sitting bone up. And then find your way to your full downward facing dog. Knees bent or not. Feel and sense the freedom, the less stagnation in the body, yeah? Exhale, knees to mat. Then child's pose to rest, palms up. Bump your fingers. You might even want to rotate your wrist nice and slow. If you're working on your mat on a hardwood surface, you're going to have less struggle with your wrists. The softer the surface, the more give there is and the more instability your wrists feel. So I know I feel it much more in this environment than I ever did in a yoga studio. Okay, we're getting there. Lay on your back. Have a block nearby, or you can use that folded blanket that you were using before. Finding that nice neutral place again. Just take a moment here before we move on. How does your body feel? How well is it digesting the practice? Is there resistance? Or does it feel amazing? Now take your blanket or your block and you're going to slide it underneath your pelvis so that your sacrum is being supported. Okay, so you feel the block will give you more feedback, but you don't have to have the block. If your sacrum is sensitive or you don't like that hard thing underneath your pelvis, use the blanket. Just make sure it's elevated a little bit. And then we're going to go back to the beginning. I want you to take your right knee and draw it into your chest. You can use one or two arms. And then slide your left leg all the way down. Keep the heel on the floor. And feel how they're different, how the right leg kind of moves your back downward and how the left leg wants to move your back upward. And find this balance between the two. Make sure your shoulders are underneath you so your spine is free. Now holding this position, toes go straight up to the ceiling. We're going to slowly lift this left leg up towards perpendicular, level with your own pelvis. Toes stay straight. When your leg gets over your hip, slowly lower it back down, trying to go in slow motion as much as you can. So once the heel touches the floor, and it might feel kind of far away, I want you to turn your toes inward and then try again. Nice slow lift. Toes are inward. The slower you go, the better. If your leg is shaking, that's a good thing. Your body's a little bit tired. And we're working with the psoas, which tends to be tight and weak in almost everybody I know. Okay, once the heel touches the floor, turn your toes outward and then do one more lift. Noticing which one feels the hardest. Yesterday, my toes in felt harder. Today, the toes out felt harder. So bodies are always different with each day. Okay, once your heel touches the ground again, turn your toes so they're straight up and push your heel into the mat. While you push the heel into the mat, pull the knee in towards your body closer. Keep pushing the heel as you pull the knee. So very odd movement pattern. One more breath. Exhale, release your right leg, put your foot down, slide your left leg up. Pause here in the middle. Adjust if you need to. You've heard me talk about the psoas before. It's the only muscle that connects the legs to the torso. Isn't that interesting? All other muscles are connected via ligaments. Left leg comes in. Right leg stretches down. Heel on the floor, toes are straight up. Same thing on the side. So slowly lifting the foot with the toes straight up. The psoas is considered the deepest abdominal muscle we have. And if it's tight and it doesn't function very well, it actually impedes the action of the rest of the torso. So lower back, lower abdomen, obliques, transverse abdominis, they all get affected if the psoas is weak and tight, which is why we're working with it now. Okay, once your heel touches the floor, try to keep your legs straight, turn your toes in and come up again. Keeping the legs straight the whole time. Breathing. And then lowering it down once you get it up. Taking your time. Again, the hardest part about this, I think, is going really slowly. If you're getting to the floor before I am, you're probably going a little too fast. Once your heel touches the floor, turn your toes all the way open now, and then come back up one more time. Now, interestingly for me, my left leg, the toes out were harder. My right leg, the toes in was harder. And we're just playing with different angles of the leg to kind of grab different parts of the psoas. Once your heel touches the floor for this last time, turn your toes to the ceiling. Heel is going to push straight down, and then I want you to pull the left leg in as much as you can. Heel presses, left leg pulls. Try to do them at the same time. Try not to bend your knee. That would be a cheat. Press one more time, pull one more time, feel what's going on. And then exhale, let go of your left foot, release the leg to the floor, right leg comes up. Now lifting your pelvis enough to slide out what's underneath you, and then let your pelvis come to the floor. Knees come together, feet walk apart. Pause here for a moment, breathe into your belly. Think about the breathing in the belly as a way to massage the psoas after it just did all that work. If you sit a lot throughout the day, you can almost guarantee that you have a tight psoas. If you have any lumbar curve, like I do, you have a tight, short, weak psoas. Then walk your feet together. Carefully now, put the balls of the feet toward each other and let your knees fall open, gently. Pause here and breathe. And now allow your knees to come towards the center. Walk your feet down onto the mat and then take your legs wide open. Arms can be open or in cactus pose, letting your knees go from one side to the other. I want you to spend a little bit of extra attention to the top leg. You're internally rotating the top leg, which is, again, adjusting and addressing the psoas and the lower belly. When you come to one side, stay there. So I'm on my right side. I'm going to focus on my left leg. I want you to press into the inner edge of your left foot or right foot, whatever side you're on. And imagine moving your knee more forward or away from your pelvis, or even more down. You're going to get a sensation of action around your whole hip socket in the front. Inhale, come back to center, and then change sides and do the same thing. So you can let your legs go over to the side and they can just kind of hang out there, or you can push into the inner edge of your top leg to move the knee forward away from your hip. The whole hip will start to move away from the floor, and you're going to get more action in your hip socket. As you come up, inhale one more time to center, and then let's allow both knees to come to chest. Your legs can be apart. You can hold underneath and grab your wrist, or hold on top and grab your wrist. Try to create a container where your arms are closed. Let your shoulders and head relax and gently rock from one side to the other. Soften to the center, and if you like, pick your head up and bring your head and your knees toward each other. Letting your feet come to the floor, letting your head come back down. Taking a moment to come back to hands on your belly. Just like we did in the beginning. The inhale expands, and you'll feel the lower back move off the floor. The exhale contracts down, and you'll feel the lower back move toward the floor. Now notice what your pelvis is doing here. Inhaling, it rocks towards your tailbone. Exhaling, it rocks towards your lower back. Now as you keep going, what I'd like you to think about is when you're exhaling and the lower back comes to the floor, you feel your tailbone rise, push into your feet and lift your pelvis a tiny little bit. And then release it, inhale. Opening the back body, exhaling, contracting, tailbone rises, push through your feet. And I don't want you to come up super high. I just want you to get a little bit more muscular action going on. And you'll feel your own natural edge last time, where you just don't really want to go any farther, and that's fine. That's where you're going to be. You don't have to think of bridge pose. That's not where we are. And then letting everything come down and rest. All right, if you have any more tightness, cross your right ankle over your left knee and maybe rock from one side to the other. That might feel really good to your body. If you do it on your right side, please do it on your left also. And if your body feels pretty good, you can just move right to Shavasana. We did a lot of work with hips today and core body. And so if your hips are a little bit on the, I felt that today. These kinds of last movement patterns can feel really good. And you listen, we have a dialogue, remember, with the body. Body never, ever leads us astray. It's always very accurate with the information. We just have to get out of the way and listen. All right, when we feel ready now, lower your legs all the way down, palms open, arms resting. Feel free to use your props, your blankets, and find your final still point. As you inhale and then exhale, let your body release completely into stillness. Digesting the practice. Taking in, assimilating, and letting go of whatever wasn't useful.